Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Francis Smith. We've just witnessed the Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou press conference. People will be saying to you, looking at you, and you look and say, "Can I have a feel? Can I have a feel?" And you would say, "No, I don't want to feel." But why was this the right? Why did you feel this was the right fight for AJ to take the Francis Ngannou fight?
I thought you were going to say, "Can I feel your hair?" I think it's the biggest commercial fight out there. You know, we were obviously focused on the Deontay Wilder fight, which was, supposed to be set up. Obviously, he didn't get the win against Joseph Parker, and this was the biggest fight out there. You know, at the same time, AJ's focused on winning the belts again. They're tied up right now. You know, February 17th, the undisputed fight. Beyond that, there's big opportunities, but this was the biggest fight to be made, and a lot of people are going to be comparing his performance to Tyson Fury's.
It was the feeling from some within Matchroom, namely Eddie Hearn, that previously Francis Ngannou fights were a bit of a gimmick. Do you feel that, having seen his performance against Fury, that he shed off that gimmick tag and this is really a legitimate fight for AJ?
I always said I thought it was a big fight. I can understand why it happened. I think the reality was you had a man who'd never been in a professional boxing fight going in against the best boxer in the heavyweight division, and that was probably where the question marks came. He showed that he deserves to be in there. You know, with the performance he had. Not many people, as many people would say, knew he had a chance of putting him down. Not many people actually put that position out there. I thought Tyson Fury would go in there and do a job on him, but Francis Ngannou showed what he's about, and that's why this fight's so interesting, and that's why people want to watch this as well.
People always talk about, getting the MMA eyes onto the boxing side and converting them into boxing fans. Do you feel that we'll see, if any fight's going to do that, it's this one? And do you feel that we will truly see that in this fight?
Yeah, look, I think it's a massive crossover, this fight. You know, you got two guys. If you look at them and look at the shape they're in, it's gonna be a massive fight. When we announced it, the numbers were huge, and by the time the fight comes around, it's going to be massive. So I can't wait for it. And I think these nights are what the sport needs. Removing politics as well from the sport is key to deliver the best possible fights for the fighters and everyone involved to keep building the sport.
Outside of Ngannou, some other options that were maybe on the table were Zhang and Hrgovic. Was it purely just down to money, what Ngannou brings on the other side, for AJ to choose this route?
Not just money, but the scale of the fight as well. AJ's been very open about he wants to become a world champion again, and as I said, those belts are tied up. So that would be his focus if that was available right now to become world champion. It's not, as of we stand here today, because of the undisputed fight. But yeah, this was the biggest fight out there, and the fight that the GEA, His Excellency, wanted to see, and it's a massive fight, and it will be a massive fight when it comes around. And, it's going to have people intrigued.
Speaking of the head of the table, I believe if I'm getting this right, he put this on the screen, the undisputed heavyweight title fight, a new sort of title, I believe, there, maybe in the processing right now, but he said that for the winner, they've got to look behind him, and that's what's in line for them. Is that the plan here? The winner gets a shot at the Fury-Usyk winner once the rematch has taken place?
No, I think the focus is very much what's ahead. That's Feb 17th, that's March 3. We've seen how forward planning things can sometimes scupper things. It could have happened in the Ngannou Fury fight. It could have gone either way. Could have changed the undisputed direction there. We saw it with Joseph Parker. We were trying to make the Deontay Wilder fight. So very much focusing on what's ahead. We all know we want to make the biggest fights possible. The biggest fight possible are all these winners coming together and having it out. And hopefully that's something we can see towards the end of the year.
But does that importance of the Fury-Joshua fight come more into the spotlight with the Wilder fight falling from the wayside? I spoke to Thomas Howes, and he kind of took umbrage, as a lot of boxing fans have taken umbrage, for that fight never materialising, which moves the focus towards the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua fight into deeper focus, because that fight needs to materialise, otherwise we lose another big fight.
Yeah, I think the Tyson Fury fight is huge. I think win, lose or draw for Tyson Fury, the AJ fight is massive, and it's a fight people want to see. But again, it's about not taking your focus off what's ahead. It's quite easy to think about, this is what's going to be next, this is what we should be looking at, when actually you've got tough tests ahead of you. And Feb 17th is an amazing fight, great for the sport, and that's a real fight. And neither of those guys will be looking beyond February 17th.
Into some contractual information, I'd like to get some details from you, if possible. First of all, is there a rematch clause in this one?
I'm not sure.
Is there a rematch clause?
I'm not sure.
Fair enough, I'll hold you to that for the moment. What's the TV situation? We know that and Joshua holds an exclusive deal, so that lends itself to being that DAZN will hold the fight. Will TNT be also broadcasting this?
It's ongoing, hence why there's no broadcasters here. You know, AJ, as you say, has got his exclusive position with DAZN. There was obviously DAZN and TNT, ESPN all worked together on the December 23rd event. But yeah, those conversations, I'm sure, with DAZN, and that's something, a conversation the GEA are having directly with DAZN right now.
Well, the details are scarce. As you try to read the article, there is some information regarding matchroom boxing and boxing abroad in the legal battle regarding Boxxer-Buatsi's situation. What can you tell us about that, and when's that heading to court?
Look, nothing's changed. It's been the same that we spoke about previously. You know, obviously, look, we have to defend our contractual position, our contractual rights. I'm not going to go into much more detail on it. There's a forum that will go through, and we'll see. You know, we have to go and see how that plays out. But you know, that's for a legal forum to play out. But yeah, we have to defend our legal position, and we'll continue to do so.
Just wondered of the timing. Has the conversation been happening back and forth behind the scenes?
Look, it's obviously been ongoing since the situation first unfolded when we spoke about it originally with the Boxxer-Buatsi position. But it's not something to really be discussed in public right now, because it's like I say, it's a situation that will be resolved via a legal route.
Well, what's been put in public is Matchroom versus Queensbury versus Matchroom event and extravaganza. That was pitched a while back. It was shot down at that time, but finally we're getting some form of that happening, a great event in prospect. Who are we likely to see on the card?
Some great fights to be made. I'm not going to... The thing is, if you start saying things and they don't happen, everyone gets touchy, don't they? Yeah. So I think the better route is we go away, we try and put a plan together of what could take place. There's some great fights to be made between us, and it's great that the conversations are happening. So I'm very confident we'll get that all together. But yeah, let's see how things play out.
Okay, hypothetically, name one fight you'd like to see get made.
Boxxer v Boxxer?
No. Matchroom versus Queensbury.
Just got sent one. Felix Cash against Hamza Shiraz. Be a great fight. There's loads of fights to be made. Loads of fights. I like Anthony Yard against Craig Richards. It's a great fight. So there's lots, but I'd rather try and put some together rather than mention them. One doesn't happen and then they say, well, you said that, and I like doing the work in the background, and then once it's ready to announce, we announce it.
Well, hypothetically, I appreciate your points. What about the future for Callum Smith off the back of the defeat to Paterno? It says it's a tough pill for him to swallow, not being able to establish himself as the best there. Do you feel that he'll continue to feel this life for him with other fights, like the likes of, you mentioned there, the Matchroom versus Queensbury, Callum Smith versus Yard, or others there? Yeah,
100%. Look, there's still, he's very young still, Callum Smith, but at the same time he's done the things he wanted to do. He's been in the biggest fights. He's won the world championship at super middleweight. Obviously his dream was to become a two-weight world champion. It didn't happen. He went in there against one of the best in Artur Beterbiev. He showed a lot of heart to keep coming in that fight. But I think he's got a decision to make. He's done very well for himself, and only he will be. He'll be the only one who decides what's next. I think he'll want to take some time and spend time with his family, because he's been training all over Christmas. When you think he had a long time out the ring as well, a lot of delays throughout with injuries to him, injuries to Beterbiev. But yeah, he's got to make the right decision now. Like I say, he's fortunate because of the hard work he's put in that he could retire tomorrow and be comfortable for the rest of his life. But it's whether he feels like he's done everything he wants to do in the sport. I think he could happily retire. I would say, he's had a tremendous career, been involved in some of the biggest fights in the sport. But yeah, he'll make that decision, and it's not going to be an easy decision. But look, it's also, people question, after going in against Artur Beterbiev, who many people believe one of the best pound for pound, the top pound for pound list, getting beat, and they're like, well, I should retire now. So, it's a much bigger sport than just one fight. He came up short in that fight, but there's many more big fights. But yeah, it's whether he's got the drive. If it's about becoming a world champion, then maybe that's it.
Francis, finally, with the newly forged or newly founded public partnership between Matchroom and Queensbury, how has this, if at all, changed the goals for Matchroom to be the number one? Is it still viable or possible to chase being number one when you're also in conjunction with your direct rivals?
Yeah, look, I think we're very open. We will always be competitors. Naturally, that's but at the same time, if we can make fights that make sense for our fighters, if we can work together and deliver great fights, great events, then that's what we'll focus to do. We'll continue to look to build our brand globally as well, deliver massive events around the world. Japan, a new market for us. That's what we'll continue to do. But if we can make fights that are beneficial for the sport, that's the plus side of this. And the relationship's good as well. The dialogue's good, and that's the key.
This is good dialogue too, Francis. Pleasure's all mine. Thanks for being SecondsOut.